Hi, I'm going to demonstrate how to replace an inlet hose or a feeder hose. This is the hose that goes from your reel to the faucet. I'm going to demonstrate how to replace this on the ELEY brand hose reels. Now, this hose feeds through the backside of the reel. It doesn't matter whether it's a wall mount unit, a two-wheel cart, a four-wheel wagon, or the freestanding unit like this one. The procedure is exactly the same regardless of which model you have. Now, in order to replace the inlet hose, the entire plumbing of an ELEY reel consists of just two components, the inlet hose and the brass swivel. And the inlet hose simply threads into the back side of the swivel and connects that way. So what we need to do is remove the brass swivel from the reel so we can unscrew that inlet hose from the back side. So the first thing to do is to remove this brass swivel. Now you can choose to either unhook your garden hose that's attached to your brass swivel, or you can leave it attached. It doesn't matter. I prefer to unscrew it simply because when I go to reattach the brass swivel, sometimes it's a little easier to align the threads on the axle if this hose isn't pulling it away. So we're going to go ahead and remove the brass swivel, remove the garden hose from the brass swivel, and then we'll go ahead and disconnect the brass swivel from the reel. So to remove the brass swivel, first thing I want to do is probably get this cam lever, release the cam lever and get out of the way. What we're doing is we're going to unscrew this white metal collar. It's a lock nut. This is what attaches the swivel to the axle. So we want to loosen that by turning it counterclockwise and just keep unscrewing that until it comes free from the axle. Okay, and then once it's free, you pull it straight away from the reel. So we're going to pull it straight away. And here the inlet hose is coming from the back side of the reel through the axle and attached to this brass swivel. And now they're connected here, so what we need to do is unscrew the swivel from the inlet hose, because the swivel's good. We're not replacing that. We just need to replace the inlet hose. Just set that off to the side. And then this inlet hose we'll pull it out from the back side and pull it straight through the axle. So just pull on it and pull it straight out. Okay, let's remove that one. And then we're going to bring our new inlet hose in, get the male thread, feed it through the back side of the axle, and push it through until you see it just coming through the front side of the axle. Now when you go to reattach this, make sure this cam lever, because it often slides off, make sure it gets realigned properly with the flange by putting the tab into that slot. Then you take your swivel, reattach it to the inlet hose, and tighten it very firmly. Hand firm should be good, just like attaching a spray nozzle to a hose. If you want to make sure you get it tight, you can get a pair of pliers or a large wrench onto this hex fitting and tighten it even more. But hand tight usually is sufficient. Then push the whole assembly back on into the axle until this white collar engages the threads. Make sure your cam lever's in place, and then simply reattach it. Get the threads lined up and reattach the swivel by turning it clockwise. Okay, so once you have that tightened back on, re-engage your cam lever brake and then reattach your garden hose, and you're good to go.